to start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Come on, everybody, put your hands up.
Jazzy Joe Entertainment presents
India Mixmasters. Jazzy Joe meets top Indian DJ. Here we go.
Check it out. Check it out. Check it out.
Hi everyone, welcome to this web series and episode of Jazzy Joe meets India's Mixmasters, the web series where I talk to the leading top DJs in India. In each episode, we feature one top leading Indian DJ and ask him a few questions about his career, his life, and his views about music and clubs in India. I hope you will all enjoy and support this humble effort of mine in talking to India's Mixmasters. This time, I'm talking with another one of India's unique and popular disc jockeys. Dear friends, I'm happy and proud to present one of India's popular Mixmasters, the Retro King, and my dear friend, DJ Russel. Based in Mumbai, DJ Russel has nearly 3 decades of knowledge in the field of music, and his skills extend from retro to rock, hip-hop to house, Bollywood and beyond. His style of playing is matchless. Be it rock or retro, if it's the rare stuff you want to hear, you'll hear it from his console. His hip-hop tunes catch dancers to play a game of move and sway with me. His Bollywood tunes make you want to scorch the dance floor with some moves. His house music spins stories right before your eyes. No matter the genre, his tunes keep you coming back for more. He has also been the brand ambassador with UDG since 2017 and brand endorsee for Audio Technica since 2018. He currently is the in-house disc jockey and creatively involved at Door Number 1, the retro bar in Bandra, Mumbai, as a music partner bringing back to the people the sounds, tunes and media from the 50s to the 90s. And not to forget his colourful hair, shoes or his style of dressing. From his ready smile to his witty one-liners, the magic he views at the console puts the music straight into your soul. Alright guys, here he is. Definitely one of India's biggest Mixmasters. Someone who competes with me in terms of color, with all that he wears, and he changes his hairstyle, the color of his hair, much quicker than you can say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. So every time I see him, I don't know what color his hair is going to be. And of course, my dear friend, here is DJ Russel. Hi, Russel.
Hello. Hi, Jazzy. Hello.
Always wonderful to talk to you.
Same here. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Thank you.
Let's begin right at the start. Okay. How did you get into DJing, into music? How did the whole journey begin for you?
So it actually started off in 1994 when I was still in school. Okay. It just happened that I gave my exams and I was heading back from school back home, and a friend asked me like, "Arey yaar, there's a private party happening in town that's in Bombay, and do you want to go for the gig?" So I was like, "What do I have to do?" He's saying, "Arey jada kuch nahi. You'll have to carry speakers. I mean, you have to go. I'll take you as a loader because there's another DJ already playing there." So he said, "You will get 150 rupees." So in 1994, 150 rupees was a lot of money. I mean, I was still in school. Yes. And in school to get 150 bucks is like a lot of money. So I was like, wow.
Okay.
That show went on till 7 in the morning. And that was the time which actually I was like, wow, man, this is something like super fun.
Yeah.
So I mean, actually it was not for the money or chicks. It was just pure love and passion for music, which I always had as a kid.
Yeah. And what about your earlier clubs? Do you remember any of your earlier venues?
When I started DJing and I got into coming out from the private scenes, I started playing at Illusions Bandra.
Okay.
So it was Illusions was the first time. But then, I mean, I used to party at all the other clubs after Illusions shut. It was J49, Raz, RATC, Blackouts, Grand Canyon, and so on and so forth. I mean, all the clubs back then.
The good times.
Oh yeah. The actual good times where music was like really banging and party scenes were like on till morning, and we could
Very
really
good.
party.
Is it safe to say that retro is your favorite music genre? And are you into every genre, but especially retro? Is that how it
Uh,
is?
so retro actually happened to me by chance.
Okay.
I was like a full, I mean, back then when it was private parties, you had to be like a full commercial private
Yeah.
party DJ where you had to play anything and everything. It was this, nothing like,
Yeah.
you had to play only Hindi or you had to play only this. And that too, back
Yeah.
then, Hindi was very rarely played at a private party. Like everybody was like, mainly English.
Very true.
So retro happened in a way, it was very funny. Okay. This is a very funny story. And I don't
Okay.
have any regrets sharing it with you because it is really funny and I find it funny myself.
Okay.
So I was playing at a club and I got this offer to come to Hawaiian Shack to play. So
Yeah.
which Hawaiian Shack had just opened that time. This was in 2002, 2003.
Hmm.
So I get a call and say that, there's this place in Bandra called Hawaiian Shack. Do you want to join it? So I was like, yeah, okay, cool. But the music genre is retro. Like, you have to play like strictly retro, 60s, 70s, 80s, little bit of the 90s, but mainly it's a lot of classic rock and all that stuff. I said, yeah, how difficult can it be? So I enter Hawaiian Shack in the evening it was a Friday or a Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. So I enter Hawaiian Shack at 5:36 in the evening and I meet the manager. His name is Gonzi. So he's like, hi, you're Russell? I said, yes. He's saying, okay, yeah, this is Hawaiian Shack. And that's your cabin. So, and the cabin was in the Hawaiian Shack was built in like a proper shack in like how you get a
Yeah.
shack in Goa.
Yeah.
And the bar was in the shape of a boat.
Yeah.
And inside where the captain rides the ship is where the DJ cabin was. So it was a little small, like really small, and it was really short. So I was really tall for the cabin. So I used to bend like this in play. Yeah. So I've entered Hawaiian Shack and I've gone and believe me or not, was in for a biggest surprise of my life. Okay.
Okay.
I have gone to Hawaiian Shack with only 8 CDs of retro in my entire case
Oh.
logic because I was like a commercial DJ, so I had hip hop, I had house. Back then, whatever trance music was played back then, I had all that kind of music. I was everything other than retro music, and I had these 8 CDs of retro, which I thought I had all the music in the world.
Okay.
Okay, so I like, arey, retro. I've got all the songs. I've got Self Control. I've got Dancing Queen. I've got Bonnie, and that was it. Like my retro collection was those 8 CDs.
Yeah.
So I've gone and I started playing, not knowing what I was in for.
Yeah.
And the night began at 7 o'clock. I started getting 1 request, 2 requests, 3 requests, 4 requests, and the request just coming. And I had no clue what was retro all about. I mean, it was just those 8 CDs. So I thought that was it. Yeah, I mean, that was the beyond and end all of all the retro music.
Yeah.
And by the night got over at 1:30. I was abused left, right, and center by every guest in Hawaiian Shack.
Oh my God.
Okay, because they told me you suck and you're the most shittiest DJ ever, and I was like really upset. And I came home and I called this friend of mine who lives in Mulund, and I told him, his name's Rahul. I said, Rahul, I need this music, bro. I said, I'm playing at this place called Hawaiian Shack, and it's a strictly retro bar. He said, Arey yaar, mere ko malum hai. How did you join that place? I said, as in? He's saying Hawaiian Shack is a retro bar. They play only retro music. He's saying तेरे पास तो कुछ रहेगा ही नहीं. I said हाँ मेरे पास 8 CD है. He's saying पागल है क्या? 8 CD में कुछ होता नहीं है.
Yeah.
And that night I had around 300 tissues with
Okay.
song requests. My pockets were filled. My bag was filled with just tissue papers. I've gone to his place in Mulund. At 2:30 in the morning, I reached his place. From 2:30 in the morning to 4 o'clock the next day in the evening, I was just recording music.
Okay.
Like every song that was on that tissue paper, I have gone and downloaded everything. And that time it was those dial-up connections, not even proper Wi-Fi. We had those dial-up lines.
Yeah.
Let it be a 3 MB song or let it be a 16 MB track. It would like take really long to come down.
Yeah.
But Somehow or the other, we finished recording. I called up friends. I pulled down favors from everybody that I knew. I said, like, and I knew the groups, but I never had the song. So I called up all my friends. I said, you have Dire Straits, you have Pink Floyd, you have GNR, you have Metallica, you have CCR, Lynyrd Skynyrd, you name it. And I just started pulling. The next day I went to Hawaiian Shack. Like I had from the one Case Logic that I entered in Hawaiian Shack. The next day I entered with 3 Case Logics.
Okay.
And I was like all ready. I was like, come on now, just bring it on. All you guys who ever abused me yesterday, let's take it on today. From that day till today, I got pulled so much into retro. Like it just happened. I mean, I play all the other genres, not that I don't play.
Yeah.
But yeah, that day was like a hardcore turning point where I realized, like, you don't be confident of what you have that little bit. There's much more and there's a lot of learning to do, which I still today I also learn. I mean, with watching TV and all these programs, and there are some songs that it sounds like to a similar artist, but it must be somebody else. And then I just go and Google and see what tracks were played at the video, and then and just start downloading and then go back and check the discography of what all it was released with the album. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of learning which still goes, but it's fun. Wow. I love playing retro.
And now you are known for retro music, and you're also known, Russell, for being the brand ambassador of UDG and Audio Technica. So yes. How did that come about? So UDG happened, I think, because of my colored hair, because all the colored bags that UDG have, I think it came because of that. Okay. And Audio Technica was because a friend of mine, Robin, was handling Audio Technica, and they were also releasing the colored editions of the M50X. Okay. So I think that time my hair was blue. So and I had got the blue headphones, which was also released at that time. Since you are talking about colored hair, I would like to ask you, the hair color, your t-shirts, you wear very, very witty one-liner t-shirts, and your shoes, and so there is this colorful persona, which is very hard to find among our colleagues, I know through experience. So I thought I was the only one, but now I see you also. So is it something that is a persona that you have cultivated, or is that how you are? When it comes to hair color, I'm also a hairstylist. So okay. I've trained to be a professional hairstylist. So that's how coloring came up to me was in 99. A friend of mine who had just finished, I think 99 or 96, I'm not sure of the year, but he had just finished his hairstyling course, who became a hairstylist. I mean, he's almost as long as I've been DJing. So he wanted to experiment some new colors that his sister bought from the US. Okay. And I mean, there was no better guinea pig than me, because of being a DJ and like this whole cool vibe of where I live down the road and everybody. And that time on my road, I was the only DJ on my road. Okay. So he asked me, like, why don't you let me color your hair? So I was like, what is that going to be? Like, just a little bit. He's like, no, just trust me and let me do it. So I said, okay, cool. So he went and just pre-lightened my entire hair, and from jet black natural hair, I had like full blonde, yellowish, golden hair. And then he tried red on it. And that was the first time I had red hair. And so that's how it started. Yeah, so to dry up my hair, we took my bike and we went riding the whole of Bandra to get my hair dried up, and like everybody was looking at me like, who's this freak of nature who's got red hair? Because that time there was nobody ever colored globally red. Like there were highlights, just little bit here and there, but complete red hair nobody had. So you painted the town red? Yeah. So you painted the town red? I painted Bandra red, not... Yeah, so the whole Bandra was just staring, and my mom gets called and says, "Arey, your son has got red hair." She's like, "Yeah, I know. I just saw him." So, that happened. That is where I got into, that is when I actually started coloring my hair. And t-shirts came in was when I was playing at Velocity at the VIP section with Remy. Remy on the main club. Gavin was at the RPM section, and I was at the main VIP. So I bought this shirt from a shop which said designer shirt And like, it was around 2,500 bucks, 3,000 rupees for a designer shirt. So I go and ask him, I was like, how many people have bought this shirt? He's like, sir, you're the only one who's bought this shirt. Like, who's going to buy it? So I was very kicked about designer shirt, playing at Velocity for the VIPs of Bombay and all. I was like, all right, cool. Saturday night, Gavin, like I said, at the Retro, Remy at the main club, and me in the VIP section. And I see 6 people wearing the same shirt. And the waiter back then comes up to me saying, sir, आप और वो 6 जन waiter के जैसे ही दिखते हैं. I said, कौन 6 जन? He said, वो देखो 6 जन बाहर है और आप 7वां है. You all look like waiters. I felt so embarrassed. Jazzy, believe me or not, I took his waistcoat and I put the waistcoat and I played the entire night with his waistcoat. And that was the time I was like, I am just going to start printing my own t-shirts and designing my own this thing. And that was how I started wearing exclusive t-shirts which are designed by my wife and Aisha, right? So she gets all the designs done for me and I get them printed. And God forbid if I ever see anybody wearing a similar t-shirt, if somebody tries to copy a design of mine, I will never wear that t-shirt again.
And another thing, Russell, that sets you apart from a lot of other DJs is your love for vinyl till today. So how is that, how is that still relevant? I mean, I know a lot of DJs who loved vinyl in the 90s, in the 80s, but today they have gone fully digital and they don't even want to touch vinyl. But you are still someone who keeps a track of what is releasing, what is selling, what is happening in the vinyl world. So how does that come about?
So, I mean, that also came for the love of music for which I had all these years. So before I could own my own turntable, I used to collect records. Okay. And I would my first vinyl which I picked up was the Dire Straits Brothers in Arms vinyl. And I had CDs before I could have a CD player. So I had vinyls before I could have turntables. And one day a friend of mine just asked me, Russell, I'm just giving away my Technics 1210s. Do you want them? So I was like, why are you giving it away? He's like, I don't have any vinyls to use it on. I don't have any cartridges. And it's just lying in my warehouse doing nothing. So would you take it? He's saying, I know you'll take care of it, as it's your own. So I was like, are you giving it to me? He's like, yeah, tu le le yaar. So I said, cool. So he drops off the turntables at my place. And the 1210s were in a little bad shape. I mean, I had to get the tone arm fixed and one cable was broken. That's about it. So I fixed the turntable and I started playing. I mean, I just started rooming all the vinyls out, whatever I had collected over the years. And then Aisha asked me, she's like, Russ, why don't you, dig into the bags that you have all your old vinyls collected in? And then I opened my UDG bag, which my sister had picked up back from Singapore, and all my vinyls were there. And it just brought back a lot of memories. And then, I just started rooming and then ever since back then, I just got all my vinyls out. Then Aisha's grandmother gave us some records that she had at home. The 45s were there. Then another friend of mine gave me around 10 records. And and people just started becoming very generous with me and Aisha and started giving us vinyls. Then when we had a little disaster in our studio where my neighbors decided to leave her taps open and go for a vacation where the water came straight from up down into the house, it spoiled all our records. They got stuck so badly that I couldn't even remove them out. They are still in the box, the case, the covers are stuck to the vinyl. I tried to rip them off. I put few in the sun to dry up, which got warped because the heat of the sun. I mean, then after that, a few of my friends, like Aisha, put up on Facebook saying anybody want to giving away their old records, and by the grace of God, a lot of people gave us records. So I built my collection again, and now and ever since I've just been collecting my records all over again, and then I love playing it. And keeping up to date is because of the music and sometimes because I get to play that kind of music, so I do buy new house music also on vinyl. And then, yeah, record or the old, whatever I have is there.
And now it's nearly 3 decades, Russell, that you've been rocking the clubs.
Yes,
And
27 years.
I want to ask you, if I want to know the top 3 venues that you have performed at, the top 3 venues which are special to you, which would they be?
So the first one is obviously Illusions, because that is where I got to see nightlife, like proper nightlife, because back then also we used to shut by around 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
That was Illusions was first. Then second obviously was Velocity, because the biggest club in Mumbai back then in 2000 was Velocity, where 4 levels, 4 areas in one section. That was the VIP, the main club, the retro section, and the lounge. We didn't have the Bollywood section, but we were trying to open it. And Hawaiian Shack and Boat Club was where I had my residency for 8 years, where I played pure 80s and 90s. And that was the only club, Boat Club was the only club where I played no Hindi at all. No matter what it was, whoever you were, my owner said no Hindi at all. So yeah, these are you said 3, but these 4 actually mean a lot to me, because Boat Club was where I pulled on my residency for 8 years. And in those 8 years, I got married also.
That's the past. And what about the future? What does the future hold for DJ Russel? Online streaming, I know you've been doing a lot of online events recently. So what do you see happening with DJ Russel in the future?
Right now, door number 1, which is the club which I'm playing, and we are handling the place completely. So Aisha is the partner in the venue. So we are taking over door number 1 completely. So we are handling the whole place. And online streaming gives us a chance to do whatever I don't get to do otherwise. Playing the madness of Bollywood and playing the different kind of genres that I like playing for my audiences that is there.
And before I let you go, I would like to request you for a message for the young kids who want to be DJs, who want to join DJing, who have already joined but they don't know how to maneuver in these times. People who maybe are as colorful as you and me, but they don't know how to handle that. What message would you like to give us?
I don't know. Yeah, just continue doing what you love doing for the music that you love. And as I always tell people, we are just the medium between the music and the masses.
Yeah.
So just be loyal and continue doing, have passion and love. I've had it for 27 years. You've had it longer than me.
Yes. Wonderful. Short and sweet. Amazing. It's always a pleasure, Russel. Over the years, it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Jazzy.
Thank you so much for taking out time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on Mixmasters India, giving me a chance to speak up and be a chance of all the other DJs who've spoken with you.
You deserve to be India's Mixmaster, and I'm very happy that there is someone as crazy as me, as colorful as me, and I wish you more color in the future. Thank you, brother. So much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And now we come to the end of this episode featuring Indian Mixmaster DJ Russel and his insights into his life and love for music. Do tune into our next episode, which will once again feature another Mixmaster who has been rocking India. I hope all of you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please subscribe to this channel and like and share this video so that others can appreciate these great Mixmasters. You can also send any questions, suggestions or feedback to this email, jazzyvinyl@yahoo.com. For all music lovers and DJs watching, enjoy and get inspired. Till next time, have fun and join the Mixmasters who will rock you forevermore.
Indian Mixmasters. Jazzy Joe, top Indian DJ. Here we go.
Check it out. Check it out. Check it out.